Hi Lambkins, my name is Emily Fox-Millian. I'm a writer and the social media manager for Spilled Ink. I'm here today with Ms. Priebe. We are going to be talking about the good and bad of quarantine and how to stay interactive with the school. I don't know. Let's get started. How are you, Ms. Priebe?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing really good. So those who might not know you, what is your position at FCHS?
So I'm a family and consumer science teacher. This is my second year at FCHS, and I teach a variety of classes each semester, but they are child development, catering 1, teen choices, financial life management, and I'm totally blanking, but I'm pretty sure that's it.
Right.
There's a lot.
So how long have you been working at FCHS?
This is my second year there.
You like it at FCHS? I mean, 2 years? That's good. Yeah. Have you always wanted to work in PSD?
I have. The only other district I've ever thought about working in is if I ever moved back home to Denver. I grew up south of Denver. But I went to college at CSU in Fort Collins. I did all my placements and practicums up here. Moved back here after my husband went to law school, and we lived in Wyoming for a couple years. It's a great district, so it just feels like home to me now, and I wouldn't really want to be anywhere else.
That's awesome. So what have you been doing to keep yourself busy?
Great question. Lots of naps, lots of Netflix. But actually yesterday did a lot of painting around our house, my husband and I. I've been doing a lot of organizing, a lot of cleaning, a lot of redecorating, just moving stuff from one wall to the next and making it feel like it's something new in our house. And I'm learning how to sew, which is a fun adventure. I'm glad nobody's witnessing right now. And lots of baking, which is great until I realize we're the only ones here to eat all of the muffins and cookies and brownies and all of that. So also convincing myself each day, like, I'll go for a run today. And then I have to convince myself of that the next day and the next day. And we're going on week 5, still trying to convince myself.
Slowly getting there. It'll build up. Have you seen Tiger King on Netflix?
Oh, yes. Quite the entertainment. Yes. I finally had time to watch Tiger King. I watched Cheer that everybody was talking about, catching up on a lot of shows that I never watched that were on TV, and now they're on Netflix. So that's been entertaining to say the least.
Right? Oh my god. It's such a weird show. I didn't think it'd be that weird when I started watching it, but I'm enjoying it. I don't know.
Yeah, it takes you for a ride for sure.
I think I'm rewatching it for the 4th time. I don't know what I'm doing. I should be doing homework, but I'm watching Tiger King. It's a problem. Don't tell my teachers. It's okay. What have you been baking?
So I've been sewing masks for friends and family. I sewed some of those headbands. They're like the thicker headbands, and I've put buttons on them. So some of my nursing friends and our neighbor is a nurse can take some to work. So when they're wearing their masks all day, they've been complaining like it hurts behind your ears, so they can attach it to the buttons, and not have that as bad. And then fixing, my pile of, oh, this has a hole in it, or this seam ripped, or this pair of pants, or this shirt, doing all those to-do lists that you're like, oh, when I have extra time, I'll get to this. Well, now I have the time, so trying to go through that.
That's awesome. So where did you come up for the headband with the button idea, or where did you find that online?
No, I didn't. All credit to my friend Gabby, one of my friends from college. She's a NICU nurse in Denver, and she had posted it on Instagram. I don't know where she found the idea, but she made some for her nurses. She works overnight, and so she made some for all the nurses that she works with overnight and posted it. I was like, I can manage to sew a button. I can definitely
Right.
do that.
Oh,
So
that's
yeah,
incredible.
so I got the idea from her.
That's really cool. Oh, that's really cool. I really love that. So what would you say, or pardon me, would you say that you've been keeping a positive mindset during all of this, and if so, how?
Good question. Day to day, I
Right.
think waking up in the morning because I haven't been setting an alarm is refreshing. And then I realize like, and we have another day of this. But I would say overall, I've been trying to keep a positive attitude. I still feel really fortunate that I can still work. Yes, online learning is not ideal for everyone. Even us teachers, we miss being at school. We miss being in the classroom. We miss the structure. We miss interacting with all of you. Um, but I'm grateful to still have a job. I'm grateful my husband still has a job. He can go to work every day because they can stay apart in their office. And so don't tell him, but I'm grateful we're not stuck at home all day together. It's a lot of together time already, nights and
Just a
weekends.
little bit.
So that's been helpful. And I think just technology, trying to use it for good. FaceTiming, Zooming, the app House Party, just really taking that time to actually sit and talk and still connect with my family members, with my friends, people that I'm like, oh, I would love to catch up with them. Oh, we don't have the time. No, we can't go to a restaurant or we can't, all hang out outside in the sunshine, but we can still connect. And just hearing from other people, checking up on other people. My family's been huge right now. I talk to my dad every day, and just trying to remember each day we do this thing where we text each other every night 3 things that day that we're grateful for. It can be big and profound, and I'm grateful for my family, or clean water, or it can be something as simple as like, I'm grateful that Chipotle delivers. Like
Amen.
I'm grateful for hot water. Just variety of things, just to remember now that we have had time to slow down, do things that we enjoy, do those things on the never ending to-do list. Just remember all the little basic things that we are grateful for. So that's helped to just try to at least go to bed with a positive mindset. Not positive all the time. I wish we could be out and about, but remembering why we're, why this is happening. To be grateful to be healthy, to be grateful to be able to stay at home, and all of that. And now I just have a longer list of things to look forward to when we are allowed to resume a different normal. So
Right. Oh, I love that. I love the three grateful thing. I've been doing something similar in my journal. I've been picking one thing every day, but I might
I like
extend
that.
it. It's really good. I love that. So since school has been officially canceled because of COVID-19, what was your initial reaction to the news?
I was pretty brokenhearted. I immediately was just like, oh, that was the last time seeing my kids. And I know you all aren't kids, but from being in my class, I call you my kids. I actually was on leave for a little while for some family stuff before spring break. And so I just kind of felt extra sad that I truly didn't get to say goodbye to my kids.
Right.
And even teachers up until spring break, we all, teachers that I've talked to, and especially my great teachers in my department, we're all just like, oh, that was the last time. Like, what would I have said to them? What, one more high five, one more hug, one more laugh, one more, insight. And then immediately thought about the seniors. My goodness, I am just devastated for them. So just really thinking about them right now, and really just like, okay, like, you said when we got on here, and I've heard from a lot of students like, the first week was great, awesome, I loved sleeping in, or I loved, having some extended time on my assignments. But even now, it's like the structure and the routine, and yes, every class is different and every day is different, but just socializing, being around my people, being around my coworkers, being around all of you and your guys' energy and your questions, and hearing about your lives. Like, I just when I'm grading or doing stuff for school, I'm like, oh, I wonder how they are. I wonder what they're doing. I hope so-and-so's safe, or so-and-so had this trip planned, or, all of that. And it just took me a couple days to really wrap my head around it, and was like, okay, well, at least we can still communicate through the computer, and I can, try my best to let everyone know, like, I still am here for you, yes, as a teacher, but, the reason why I got into teaching wasn't just to tell everyone content. It was to make those connections and have my kids and hopefully make an impact. So,
of course. Yeah. And so what do you think are the most positive outcomes of this quarantine then?
Ooh, that's a good question. I like that. I think the most positives are hopefully it helping keep, as many people as possible safe. We still know that the virus is spreading and all of that, but hopefully keeping the majority of our lambkins and our community safe. I think hopefully perspective. And just, we are such a busy society, and I always tell my kids, I do not envy you all being teenagers right now. And high schoolers are just, it's like 20 tabs are open in your brain at all times. Spotify's going in the background, and it's just refresh, refresh, refresh. So just being able to slow down, appreciate the little things, forced time, hopefully for some self-care, just to get back to the basics and just kind of really reset and reboot. And then greater appreciation for all things and all people and jobs, and really seeing what we can and can't live without.
Oh, I love that. That's really positive. Yeah, I think it's really hard. And I think the perspective piece is hard for some students, and even myself at times, to be like, oh, well, at least I get to spend more time with my family. But, like, I'm on the verge of practicing some MMA moves on my sister. Like, but I love her, and I love spending time with her, because I don't get to see her, as much during a school day, because we don't have all the same classes. So you're right. It's really good. And so are you teaching catering this semester, or was it last semester?
This semester.
All right. So since the change to online, can you describe how the catering kids are dealing with that? Because I think that's really interesting.
Yes. Hopefully well.
Right.
So Miss Shutt, Mr. Vamsal, and I really, in the very beginning, were like, okay, so this is something we never thought we would obviously deal with during teaching, but especially with our CTE classes. A lot of our classes are hands-on, and how are we going to teach cooking virtually? So they had a really good idea, and we've created kind of a structure this week, or each week now. Whatever unit we're in, just like we do at school, we have online posted notes, and either through slides that we would normally do, or through, we found the information elsewhere of like videos or demonstrations that we would normally do. And so everyone takes notes. And then also, because we know everyone's living situation is different, going to the store and purchasing things right now are not as easy as possible. And usually we do all of that through school for everyone. So then they have an option of the part 2 of each week to get full points. One of them is still cooking. So whatever we're doing, like example, last week was beef. So they could have done hamburgers, they could have done steak, could have done sloppy joes. Finding a recipe, posting the recipe, and then taking pictures as they go of their mise en place in the beginning, midway cooking, and then final product, and answering some evaluation questions. If you all have had catering before, very similar to our makeup lab structure. Or if that's not an option, or folks can't do that or don't want to do that, part 2 is taking some additional information or notes, and having a little like 15 question quiz on Socrative, and then cleaning something, deep cleaning something, because especially moving into catering too, but a lot we talk about is the industry, and it's not just the chefs in the kitchen. There's so much other back of house operations that go into running a restaurant and a successful food business. So with that, then it's the picture of the mess, cleaning the mess up, and then the final product of whatever appliance or dishes or what have you, all by hand. Yes, we know we have lovely invention of dishwashers, but trying to give both options. And one week somebody might be able to cook, and the next week they might want to clean or need to clean and take the quiz, and that's completely fine. Just trying to be as flexible as possible. But I will say that has probably been the biggest bummer, is to not be in the kitchen watching my students learn and cook and create and make something and taste test it and like, oh, actually that's really good, like I did it. And see that, or see their funny reactions when, you know, something doesn't turn out quite like they had thought, and try to problem solve.
Of course. And it's really tough. And the reason I ask too is because not only is catering such a really cool course that we have to offer at FCHS, but also so many people are now cooking, if they have the resources, at home because of the time they have. Yeah. So I feel like I've been taking a catering class with my mom at home, and I just think that's really cool.
Good. Yeah. I have to admit, I'm not doing as much cooking at home as I thought I would have. However, I'm very fortunate. My husband loves to cook. He is the cook, and with our extra time, because he has been home more, he can still go to work a little bit, but he's kind of taken the reins there. But that baking, all those sweet treats, I'll pay for that after quarantine is over, I'm sure.
What's your favorite thing to be baking?
I would say either muffins or brownies. Made some really, really good banana bread, and had some extra batter and made some banana bread muffins. That turned out really good. Those did not last more than like 2 days in the house. And brownies right now.
I love brownies.
Regular brownies, brownies with chocolate chip, brownies with caramel swirl, cookie brownies, you name it.
That's delicious. So my final question, what are your words of encouragement to those seniors or students who might be struggling with the end of the school year or the transition online?
Oh, that's a good question. I would say first and foremost, you are not alone. This is an unexpected new temporary normal, however temporary it might be. It's going to be a while, but you're not alone. We are all figuring this out. Teachers as well as students, definitely the admin, are working their butts off behind the scenes to try to make this as smooth as possible, but it's not going to be smooth. And so please don't feel alone. Reach out if you are struggling, whether it's mental health, whether it's academic health, whether you just need someone to talk to, whether your family is driving you nuts in quarantine, or, you know, even though we're not allowed to really be around the public right now, even with people, it can still feel pretty lonely. And so my biggest piece of advice is don't hesitate to ask for help. And the second piece of that would be stay connected however you can. Microsoft Teams, Zoom, FaceTime, Skype, Instagram, Snapchat, texting. Y'all are on your phones all day at school, so I know you guys know how to talk to each other. But
True.
you know, whether it's you and your friends watch the same show on Netflix and then you talk about it once a week, or you start your own book club and everybody FaceTimes on a Saturday to talk about that book, or everyone tries to play the same game with their family or one-on-one with a deck of cards, you know, on your phone. Or there's so many apps now that can connect people with games, or just, yes, it's all virtual and it's all on the computer, and that is not the same as human interaction. But just make sure you're connecting with your people. I think as humans, we, yes, like to have our alone time and can be introverted, but when it's forced, we just need to make sure we keep those connections up. Write a letter. write a postcard, color something, draw something. Keep your mind moving. It doesn't necessarily mean sit and read a textbook for 8 hours a day, but keep your brain busy. Learn something new, do your schoolwork, take advantage of still being able to learn, because there's still parts of the world and people that can't learn, aren't allowed to learn, or don't have these resources. So just staying positive about that, but then just, again, back to basics. Find an activity, go for a nature scavenger hunt, walk to the mailbox, take your pet out. Sit in the backyard for your sunshine. Like I said, color, draw, get an old board game out, talk to your family at dinner time. Just try to keep your brain busy, keep those connections up. You're not alone. And yes, this is different, but it's our temporary normal. And, everybody knows how we're feeling right now, forever. Any seniors that meet any other seniors of 2020 anytime in their life, they're going to know what you went through, and you guys can reminisce on that together. Any spring athletes right now, whoever you meet that did a spring sport, they're going to know exactly how you felt during this. So you don't have to be positive every day. If you're upset, if you're frustrated, if you're grumpy, if you're just over it, have that time, feel that emotion. That's normal, that's real. But then pick yourself up. Go do something you enjoy. Find something you're grateful for each day. Cook something, bake something, get outside. The sunshine is super helpful. Be active, read a good book, take a nap, whatever you need to do to pull yourself out of it.
Right. And that's so important. I think you said it all, that Lambkins were not alone, and if you need help, please reach out to family members, friends, or even our very own FCHS peers. They're a great resource, which leads me to our final announcement. Lambkins! It is Earth Week, and we are celebrating with FCHS Environmental Club. Me and Miss Priebe are repping the merch. We got
our scrunchies, got our reusable straws.
Yep,
we're really ready. This though, but someone can explain it to me next year.
We'll get there eventually. You can find out how to interact with us and interact with this week's Virtual Spirit Week with us on FCHS Spildink social media or any other FCHS social media. So, Ms. Priebe, thank you for this interview.
Thank you so much. It was so good to see your face.
Good to see you too.